Now, on the mantle, I have a nativity scene, and I've had many nativity scenes, no, maybe 3 nativity scenes in my entire life as an adult. The first one, I went to one of those craft stores and it was plastered and there was no paint, and I painted it myself. And I've had other ones too that are that have a real wood manger and beautiful, you know, already painted and kind of, what is the word? The Holy Family is assembled and done by expert craftsmanship. This one right here, because I have a very shallow mantle, it is, it's just like 2 inches across, yeah, and it sits nice and flat in one piece. And it's during the holiday season, I put the Hanukkah menorah there, and then after Hanukkah is over, then the Holy Family takes over. So I wanted to say a little bit about the Holy Family. When it was in between wars, between World War I and World War II, the Vatican decided to call a special feast day. And they haven't had like a feast day in like 80 years since or something like that, a new feast day, and it was called Holy Family Day. And the reason they wanted to do this is because after the war, families were separated. This was a terrible time of reckoning when so many people died and there was dysphagia all over the world. So the Vatican came up with a phrase, a theme that was, "A family that prays together stays together." So I thought that was really beautiful. And the feast day is the early part of January. Also about the Holy Family, if you're a Christian, I'm sure somewhere that you are showing that this is the reason for the season, Jesus Christ, who was born, and every year you are renewed in that belief that Jesus is Christ, Jesus is here, and every year he gets born anew. So that's beautiful. The celebration of the Holy Family is kind of interesting in that, because this is a time also to think about, you become a family. Yes, you are a couple, like my husband and myself, we're a couple, but we don't have children together. But I still use the term family because my little dogs. But when a child is brought into this world through love and has life, that is a miracle. And so with your family, yes, you're worshiping Christ as a baby. And in Talladega Nights, remember Will Ferrell? He goes, "I like the baby Jesus," the one with the dimples on his knees and looking at the farmyard animals. I love that scene. I gotta replay it again. It's very funny. So this is a wonderful time for you to think of your own life as a baby and the life that your parents gave to you lovingly. And if you have children, when they were infants and when they were growing up. And so it's symbolic of, and if you're a grandparent too, how you get to relive that stage of life when there was your family was growing and is growing, and the joy in that too. So Christmas time is a wonderful time to renew your bonds as a family. And I'm reminded of the story. We have a retreat here called Picture Rocks. Please pardon me. This is Arizona. And the priests there belong to I'm going to use the word sect. Like you've heard of Jesuit priests, these men are called Redemptorists. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. And they had one father there that he had part of, I'm using the military term, he was stationed in, or he was assigned to go to Brazil, and it was a very poor town. And what he would do is he would go through the streets looking for abandoned babies. So, and then he would take, if they needed care, he would take them to the hospital. And he found this one little girl, and he took her to the local hospital, and they said, "Oh no, she's a goner. She's not going to make it." So this priest, I don't know how he did it, but he managed to leave with her out of the country. He said, this priest, who was a celibate man, a bachelor for life, said that this little girl was his daughter. She was his daughter. And so he was able to take her out of the country, and they went to Minnesota, which is where he was originally from. And they said, "Oh, I don't know, this baby, precious as it is, has very few moments here on earth." But a miracle happened. The baby lived. And the priest arranged for his family member, I think his brother and his sister-in-law, who either wanted children and couldn't have children, or like many people who love children, and like they just, okay, there's room for one more. So they adopted this little girl from Brazil. And when he went to retire, he went back to this church, and people were doing testimonies about what he had meant to them and what he had done for them in their lives. And then this beautiful little girl who looked very different than the other people in this Minnesotan church, and she had dark hair and ringlets and things like that. And she told the congregation, if it wasn't for, I forgot the name of the father. Was it Father, let's call him Father Joe, okay? Father Joe, she wouldn't be alive. And he is truly her father. So when you see the Holy Family, you can think of your own biological family and the family that you've extended to others that you love just as dearly. So I hope you have a special place in your home for your nativity set, and you can think of how God came into the world. He came in through Mary's womb, a human womb, and that was the channel, that was the avenue that God chose. And that is astonishing when you think of it too. So infants are very precious indeed. And when we think of God becoming human, this is the time. Why would a God want to be human? But he loved us so dearly that he wanted to join and be part of us, and so that we could relate to him, and that he could show us through a human experience what a better life would be like. So Jesus is a model. Jesus take the wheel. Jesus is our Redeemer, meaning that he's going to show us a way so that we can be pure, more pure, so that we can have a place in heaven with our Holy Father. So this is my nativity set, and I'm sure that you love and cherish yours as well.